Hey guys, welcome to Coaching with Chris today. I am excited because one of my biggest mentors in my life, the person that changed my business, the person that was honest, tough, and hard on me, and I had a hard time, I'm going to be honest with you, I had a hard time submitting, but when I submitted is when I seen the biggest changes in my business and in my life, and not even just in business life, but in personal life. It is my honor to bring in Rick Ruby of the Core Training. How are you, Rick?
Good, Chris. How are you? What part of town are you in today?
I'm in South Dakota and it's colder.
Well, we both travel a lot for business. Why?
Well, it's because that's how I see my clients.
We're always seeing our current clients and our new clients. You agree?
I totally agree.
Like you, I probably spend about 80% of my time taking care of my current clients, about 20% of time getting new clients. How about you at this level?
Yeah, I feel like I'm spending a lot of time concentrating and taking care of my current clients because I feel like that's where, for me as a business, I need to concentrate on. But also, I would say that there's still a percentage of new clients as well.
Right. I think that most of the clients that I coach, I coach people from 20 million to 200 million in the mortgage and real estate business. Most of my clients spend 80% of their time getting new clients, 20% taking care of clients. Me and you have been around a long time, have really big businesses. So as your business changes, the percentage of time you spend catering to clients grows and the spend of time you acquiring goes down. You agree with that?
I agree.
Cool. What would you like to talk about today?
Well, I mean, I don't know if everybody knows the Rick story. And one of the things that I've always enjoyed is the story of you actually were a broker and started off as a broker.
No, I started off as a lender with Flagstar Bank. And then I was a lender for 4 years. And then I went broker world and I was a mortgage broker for 23 years and actually made $1 million like 14 years in a row as a mortgage broker, because a lot of people don't think the mortgage brokers can make a lot of money, don't they?
I know.
Now, the reason that I made so much money as a broker is I held firm on margin. And to this day, one of the big things I teach brokers and lenders is how to hold firm on margin, because they just don't. You agree?
I think it's too easy for them to give up the margin, so they give it up.
Yeah, I think that like if you look at Dodd-Frank in 2012, the actual law says everybody should get the exact same rate in the exact same market. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
because there's no real Dodd-Frank police, no one really kind of follows the rule, but the rule is everybody gets the same rate. Like I'm a lender now and I have about 40 loan reps and we close right at about 180 loans a month. And my discounting is less than 10 points a month. So I really work hard on holding my price.
You've worked really hard over this last couple years, and we've worked hard together and pushing me too on a P&L. And I feel like when we think about the broker, P&L training is crucial to being able to run a great profitable branch, but also to be able to bring home a great income. What are you doing today in your branch? First the sales side and then the numbers side, and being able to get the success that you get in your branch.
Well, I coach on sales, team, and money. And on sales, we like relationship marketing with realtors, past clients, and VIPs in that order. Priority is realtors. Second priority is past clients. Third priority is local business. In teams, I try to have one team member for every 5 closings. So right now I have 40 team members and I'm staffed for about 200 closings and I'm closing about 180. So I'm trying to grow into this a little bit and get fully efficient when you make, and then I'm really good with the P&L. I spend a lot of time working on the gap. The difference between the overhead and the revenue is the gap. So that's really where the profit is. So I try to run, whether I was a broker or now as a lender, as a net branch, I try to run at 40 points net profit.
Do you think that as a broker, that should be the goal for the branch? 40 basis points.
I coach a lot of brokers. I coach a lot of brokers that are your clients, and all my clients that are brokers are your clients. I think you do a great job. I think you're a man on the street, so you understand the street. Where most EAs have never been loan reps, they don't understand the world. Where you were a top 200 loan rep in the nation, you understand the street. So that's why I recommend all my broker clients go with you. And I will tell you this, I have 4 brokers that make $1 million right now that I coach. And I think that I want them to make 1.25 in commission and 40 points override in profit. So I want them to net about 165 all in on their production.
What are you telling your branch today? It feels like recruiting is as high as it's ever been. My loan officers are getting called, I would say weekly, not daily, but weekly. And what are you doing to create loyalty with inside your branch with your loan reps today? And how are you guiding them through this season and into the next season?
Well, that's a good question. 5 of my loan reps have been with me over 20 years. So here's what I do. I make sure everybody makes max money, has the best team possible to support them, and I work on their balance. I work on their personal budgeting. I look at every employee's personal budget. I work on their relationship with God. I work on their fitness. So I try to be a boss and a coach that kind of covers wealth and balance. So I think that I work on wealth better than anybody else, and I work on balance better than everybody. So whether they're an employee or a client, I treat them all the same, that their vision is the most important thing to me, not my vision for them. So you tell me what you want to make, and then my job is to help you make it. That's what I do with you as a coach, correct?
Right.
So I think it starts with their personal vision, and I don't think most people have a vision. Do you?
I think they have a vision and they don't follow it. Like they come up with an idea, but then they never do it.
Well, if your vision is to make the best chocolate chip cookies and you don't have a recipe for chocolate chip cookies, can you make the best chocolate chip cookies?
No.
Then it wasn't a vision, it was a dream. So I feel if there's no plan, it's a dream. If there's a plan, it's a vision. Does that make sense how I look at it as a coach and a leader?
So much sense. I think we have a lot of dreams.
I don't have any dreams. Everything in my life, I have a vision for all my marriages. I have a plan, go on a date once a week, put her on a pedestal, make her very happy, kiss her butt. Like me and you both work on this all the time. The more money you have, the less it seems people want to kiss butt with their wife. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
So I try to teach you, and I try to be a butt kisser at home and a butt kicker at work. You agree?
I think a lot of brokers today and originators out there are like, okay, I need more leads. You're the best at helping us and guiding us through, and especially through this market that we're going through right now, of more leads. And we talked about realtors, past clients, and local, but dive into, you made some, I called you the other day in the evening, and we had a great talk, and you said you had a site visit and you had a bunch of people, originators over, and you realized something that they weren't doing that we need to get back to. Can you share that story and enlighten us of how to get back to what you learned?
So I'm a kind of guy that I don't really rely on talent or charm. Like you have way more talent and charm than I do. So I rely on a recipe. Personally, I don't feel like I'm the most charming or the best looking or the best salesman, but I have always been the best at making a number of phone calls, calling certain people in every day. I don't really like scripts, Chris, but I like directional bullet points of what I'm going to talk about. Like It's hard to have an exact script, but I have a bullet point. So for me, I have theme days. Like Monday, we call 40 realtors. Thursday, we call 20 past clients. And I had 9 clients in for a site visit. I bring all my clients in to watch me work for a couple days. And these 9 came in. And I made them each watch me call 5 past clients. Then they went and called 20 past clients. Each one of them, and 2 were realtors and 7 were lenders. And each one of them got between 3 and 9 leads by calling 20 of their past clients. And we called with this concept: when you bought the house, what you paid for it, what it's worth now, and whether or not you should refi. And here's the thing. Sales is all about closing. You agree?
Agree.
And there's 2 ways to close. There's always be closing. I'm sure you've heard that acronym, ABC, correct? Now, That's great, but it can be a little salesy. What can it be?
It can be a little salesy.
Or you earn the right to sell. So every time a client says thank you to me or wow, I feel like I've earned the right to what?
You've earned the right to ask.
To close. So I'm a fan of generating a lot of thank yous and wows when I'm talking to clients on the phone. So if you tell a client what their house has gone up in value, and you say what a great investor they were, they're probably going to say what? Wow, I had no idea, or thank you for telling me that. So I look at for a lender, which I have mostly lenders. I have about 2/3 lender and 1/3 realtor clients,
Yeah.
and I coach about 5 people from other industries, but mostly I stay in the mortgage business and the real estate business because I'm in that business. I've been a lender now for 41 years, right?
I didn't know it was 41 years.
So 41 years, February 5th of 1984, I got in the mortgage business. So that's a long time to be in the business, 41 years, isn't it? And I've always done a lot of business. And I will tell you, I see a lot of people burn out of the mortgage business. And I think it's because they do it wrong. And they're not finding the joy in helping the clients or watching the realtors grow. So for me, I believe it's all about realtors. So I believe you have to physically meet 100 realtors is the first step if you're a loan rep. Go to open houses, cold call, and then you got to pick a list of 40 that you like. What happens, Chris, when you deal with people you don't like?
It's no good. There's no connection. It's not real. It's fake. And it's more about the money than it is the relationship. And it never works.
And you will burn out. So I think that I've stayed a long time because I only deal with people like you that I like. And I try to find things in everybody that I like. So I believe in relationship marketing, that you're dealing with people you like and you're building trust both ways. That's my style of doing business. Now, I just had a client that's a realtor client, and he landed a flipper investor that takes 25% of his revenue. Do I count that as an important relationship or a later relationship?
A later
relationship. So I think that paying realtors is not a good model. I think that you have to be an asset for the realtor. So the first thing you have to do is close all their deals on time. I run 13 days from app to closing in my group. Is that fast?
Yeah, that's really fast.
That's really fast. That's my average, 13.2 days from app to clear to close. So I'm trying to get my clients done as soon as possible so they stop shopping. Just so you know, once they're clear to close, they won't what?
Shop.
But once they're still in process, they're going to what?
Shop.
So you got to get these files closed as soon as possible. I believe every client should be met live. Why?
Less chance to shop.
Like I have my podcast this afternoon and I have about 13,000 watching, and I'm going to interview a young loan rep that's 31 years old and he's made $1 million 4 years in a row already. Is that spectacular?
That's awesome.
Since he was 27 years old, he's made $1 million. Now, he has a little different business. He does about 1/3 of his business all over the country. And I'm always kind of dogging him about that. Why?
Because he's not local enough.
But he holds margin and he does a really good job. His specialty is he has a connection at the VA. So he gets all these VA clients that move to different towns. So he does VA seminars and he gets the client locked up. Then they get transferred to another state. He keeps that business. So, but normally I don't like out-of-state business. I like live and local. Now, me and you are out of state because we're live and national. So I'll go to San Diego on Thursday night. I'll do 4 shows. I'll be in front of 500 people. I'll get some clients. You're traveling all the time to get new mortgage brokers. We do some stuff together. I know we got a big realtor thing coming up in Phoenix together. So I think that you got to get out and get in front of as many clients as possible. And you got to have a USP, a unique selling proposition. What separates you from the competition? So for me, with my realtors, I'm going to close their deals on time and protect their money. And I'm going to help them generate 20 free warm leads a month. Those are the 2 things that I offer realtors to why they should use me. Now, if you give a man a fish, what's going to happen?
He's going to want another fish.
No, he's going to be loyal.
Sure.
But if you teach him how to fish, he's going to be what?
Super loyal.
Exactly. So I always work on teaching people how to fish. So loan reps, how to generate deals from realtors, past clients. Just in past clients alone, how often do people move?
Every 7 years.
Okay. So if you divide 7 into 100, it would go about 15 times, right?
Right.
So that means 15% of all of our past clients are moving annually. Do you agree with that?
I agree with it.
So if a guy has 400 or 500 past clients, he's got 60 to 75 clients every year he could get. Why isn't he getting them?
Because he ain't calling them.
Now, I will tell you about, I met Joe Stump, one of my mentors, about, I think it was 1995. And I went to his seminar and it was advertised, never chase realtors again. And I was all realtor in the mortgage business, but I was not relational in the mortgage business. So it's like, pretending to be their friend, laughing at all their jokes, like what you talked about earlier, that like fake relationship. So it was exhausting. And I went to his seminar and he taught me how to work my past clients. And he made me send a first-class mailer to my database. And guess what I got back in the mail?
Returned address.
127 people change of address. So they had moved. So Joe said, Rick, what do you make per deal? At the time I made about $3,500. He said, you lost $500,000 by not working your past clients. So I think sending a first-class mailer will show you what's missing and what's not missing.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. First-class mailer.
After that, I went on a rampage about my past clients, which then allowed me to do what with my realtors?
Well, imagine to get leads back.
Well, no, it allowed me to give them some of my leads because the realtors on my past clients had left. So I started giving my realtors some deals. But more importantly than that, it let me deal with realtors that I enjoyed. Like when you're desperate for a source of business, like we all can be at some point in our business, you're not going to be truly authentic with that person. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
And if you're not authentic, it'll lead to burnout. So when you have loan reps and branch managers and owners that are burnt out, it's because they're not dealing with people that they truly like. So I get to the point as a loan rep where I had enough realtors that I liked, good past clients, some local business people. I was a big fan of Rotary. I was in Rotary for 25 years. So I went to Rotary every week. I got to know some local business owners. So between my realtor base, my past clients, and my local people from Rotary, I always had a really good business where I made over $1 million. And, just so you know, forever, if you do 250 to 300 deals a year, no matter what market, no matter what model you're in, you're probably going to make $1 million. You agree?
I agree.
So the model is
the margins, right?
5 deal a month range.
Right. Let's talk about local businesses. We talked about realtors. We talked about the database, which I think is crucial. And there's a lot of movement in database, especially in debt service, meaning cash out refinances right now. We're seeing a huge movement in debt service. But local businesses, where do you see your clients thriving or yourself thriving in your branches with local businesses?
I think it needs to be 50, 30, 20. I think it needs to be 50% realtor, 30% past client, and 20% local business people. Now that would include builders, investors, accountants. Your family would be local. I mean, your own mom wants you to do well. She can refer your business. So I kind of believe in 40 people locally, and I count at this finger. Like I work off a playbook that's the hand that feeds me. So this is 40 realtors. This is my past clients. This is 40 local business people. This is 5 whales at a time. This is massive databases. And this is social media. So I work off this hand that feeds me. I have a hand for realtors. And I'd like to keep things really simple. You know that about me. So I think that when it comes to working local business people, I think you need to take your phone and scroll down and find 40 people that you like locally that you're interested in what?
And then
developing a relationship with. Does that make sense? So I break the 40 into 4 lists. Like here's my list today. So I call on Tuesdays. So there's 16 people today that I have to call and tell them how important they are. Now, I have their spouse's name. I have their hobbies. And then I have something we looked up on social media that they're doing right now. Here, I'll give you an example. This girl is on spring break. And they're in Florida, so I'll talk about that she's in Florida. This person recently attended a site visit, so I try to look them up online and get some information. But I'm 5 in of 16. So before the end of the day, I'll call all 16, and you're on this list. You're one of my VIPs. I said, Chris, you're super important to me. Right now, you're a trifecta. I admire you, I'm proud of you, and I like you. So rarely does somebody get all 3. Does that make sense? So normally I like them, but maybe I'm not proud of them. So I tell people exactly how I feel about them, what I like about them, what they're doing well. And I think that then I show some interest in their life and then I close them. Hey, I need your help. Who else do you know that come into coaching for me? I'm always looking for new coaching students. You're involved with a lot of brokers. I'd appreciate you sending me the guys. I have a subscription for $99 a month. I've got a under 10 million for $750 a month. I got 10 to 20 million for 1,500 a month, and I've got the high-end guys for 3,500 a month. And I'd really appreciate it, Chris, if I could count on you for a couple clients this year. I never ask my client for referrals. I ask them for 2 to make it more specific. Does that make sense? So
Yeah, to the
I
number.
think that you were out there trying to earn the right to close between your realtors, your past clients, and your local business people. So I think all 3 categories, 50% realtor, 30% past client, 20% local business person. That's what I'm shooting for. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Let's cover one of those fingers quick because you mentioned it. I thought you did a really good job of talking about all those, but whales. Like whales have been, you're a whale in my life, but also a big mentor. And a lot of loan officers skip the step of whales because they think it's too scary. But I feel like you've done a really good job of teaching loan officers across the country of utilizing whales in your local market.
Well, let me give you an example of that, okay? So you're a big mortgage wholesaler. You can refer me a lot of loan reps. I'm a big coach. I refer you a lot of clients. You just sent me a big mortgage broker that has 1,000 loan reps. We're going to meet for a couple weeks. He needs my help because he needs money management. You agree?
Yep.
So you're sending him to me. I'll take care of him. He'll send me some more business. I'll drive him to you. He'll send you business. And I'll tell you a story about a guy that I love. So my church about 6 years ago asked me to coach some local business owners so they would make more money and give more money to the church. Is that right up my alley?
Right up your alley.
I believe in generosity. I believe in success. So I took on these 6 businessmen. One of them is a plumber, and he was a plumber for 15 years. He made about 175 grand a year. Is that a good living for a plumber?
Sure. Yeah.
And he said, Rick, I want to get wealthy. I says, well, it all starts with what wealthy looks like. He said, I'd like to make $1 million a year. I said, okay, that's the vision. Now we need a plan. First thing we did is we went through all of his book of business: residential plumbing, builder plumbing, investor plumbing, flipper plumbing, commercial plumbing, and property management plumbing. And we looked through everything, what made him the most money for the least work. And we decided property managers was the perfect client. So I think the first thing you have to do is have a vision. Second thing you have to do is identify who the perfect client is. So we identified property managers, and we got the list of all the property managers in Charlotte. There was 37. We picked them all, and we went on a campaign for a year. Well, we landed 17 property managers. We have 120,000 properties under management, and we only have to send 17 bills a month. This last year, he made $2 million net income as a plumber. Now, have we had to build the proper team?
Yes.
We now have 22 plumbers and 22 plumber assistants. In 3 years, we'll have what?
40.
44 plumbers. So you understand that first you get the clients, then you build the team, and then you learn how to manage the money. So right now we're working on investing, which is the dream part. Like that's what I work on with you, is where to invest, what to invest in. But it starts with a vision, a plan to get leads, a team to help you take care of the leads, money on a P&L, expenses and revenue. Then you have savings. Then you pay off debt. Then you get to do the good stuff, which is investing. You agree?
I agree.
So I think that that's really identifying the perfect client. So for me, for loan reps, the perfect client does 4 to 30 million in real estate production. Why?
Because that's the perfect spot to take them to the next level.
Right? But they also sell properties at that size. What do?
They sell properties.
Like all loan reps come to me and say, oh, Rick, I've got this whale meeting. He does 100 million. He's got 35 agents on his team. Is that our client, Chris?
No.
But they all think that's the client. And that guy wants money. So I don't believe in paying realtors. I don't believe we're dealing with giant real estate teams. So when it comes to whales, I think that if you want to have a great sustainable business, you have to have a steady flow of new whales coming into your life. Like you have, how many brokers that deal with you? 12,000?
Yep.
I have
17.
1,000 coaching clients. Of my 1,000 coaching clients, 200 are brokers. They're all pushed to deal with you. Does that make sense? You have 10,000 brokers. They could all be pushed to deal with me. The better I take care of you, the more obligated you'll feel, the more you'll what?
Take care of you.
Yeah. And listen, whales are so big that they forget to take care of other people. Why?
They They get caught up in themselves.
Yes, they get caught up in being taken care of. I get guilty of that myself, where sometimes I think, wow, I'm so successful. Chris should be referring me people. These people should be referring me those people. You have to, like, I believe all human beings are an ATM machine. I believe if I'm making deposits into your life, Chris, I have the right to make withdrawals. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
So I know I know some people think that's a strange concept, that I think human beings are ATM machines. But I think, like, if I make more deposits for you, you'll want to make deposits to me. Does that make sense? So when you have whales, they can do so much, but they can take it away so fast. Why?
Because of them.
They're powerful. Does that make sense? They have big influence. Like, just so you know, the bigger somebody is in life, the more influence they have. Like, me and you are, like, we're not like top 10 influencer in the mortgage business, but we're top 20. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I think that, like, you look at, like, you know, cross country, fairway, guaranteed rate. Those are probably the 3 most influential mortgage men. Do you agree?
In retail,
and then you have, like, you know, the guy at, like, in your business that's gigantic. So there's like 5 guys. Like Gilbert is pretty gigantic. So there's 5 super influencers. But the problem is you can't get to those people. The people can still get to me and you. So they are more influential than us, but you can't get to them because they're so insulated. So we're at that level of influence where people can talk to you, people can talk to me, and I can make a big difference in their life. Now, there's a concept of getting bigger or getting better. What is the difference?
Well, I like getting better versus getting bigger. But getting bigger, I feel like sometimes every time I've tried to get bigger, it set me back. Every time
the dream is to get bigger. What is the dream?
The dream is to get bigger.
I don't know why I get caught up in that. Wow, I'm coaching 350 people for 40 grand. I need 500. I don't need 500. I need 370. Right. I need to get better. Take better care of my clients, and I'll get bigger. What is the true truth?
If you work on getting better, you will always get bigger.
And listen, if you focus on getting bigger, you will fail. Is that the truth?
That is the truth.
Now, do you know that I've probably fallen on my face 20 times in 41 years? How many times have you fallen on your face?
A lot.
Now, every time I fell on my face is because I outgrew my skill set. So I'm a really good coach if we can talk to you. Like, I have 35 coaches. Each coach coaches 12. So we're good for about 400 students. But every time I get bigger than that, now, I do have a subscription, and the subscription allows me to scale without me actually being involved with every client. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that everybody wants to scale instead of leverage. You want to leverage your personal relationships with people to do business. So I think the most a realtor can do is about 20 deals a month. What do you think for a loan rent?
I think you're right.
And I think that if you're calling on 40 realtors that sell between 4 million and 30 million, if you target the right audience, you'll get to 20 a lot easier. Do you agree?
I agree.
But they don't know who the perfect client is, and they chase the wrong clients, or they don't chase any clients. Like, I'll bet you most of the loan reps that sell loans to you don't really have a plan to attack realtors. They're just hoping the phone rings. Do you agree? And listen, I think the biggest thing that frustrates me about the broker world is they don't take it serious enough. Now, ask me what taking it serious is.
What's taking it serious?
Space, staff, W-2s. So I think you got to pay yourself on a W-2 commission. You got to have space that you go to every day, and you got to have staff. Of your 12,000 clients, how many are on pay themselves on a W-2?
Well, I would say I don't know this. I don't know what the percentage is.
I bet it's very low. Do you agree?
I'm sure it's a percentage. I don't know what it is.
How many of them have space that they go to every day, formal space, not their house?
I would say that's a greater percentage.
20%, 30%?
Yeah.
And how many have staff?
That's the highest percentage don't have staff.
Now, just so you know, the average loan rep last year did 1.8 loans per loan rep. You agree with that number, right? Do you agree with that?
It's horrible.
Now, I'm just telling you, I work at the largest mortgage company in America, and we are a little above that average. I average about 5 deals per loan rep, and I'm very high average. There's a lot of people that just don't push themselves enough. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you know why?
No.
Fear and freedom. What are the 2 F words?
That's good. Fear and freedom.
They have fear of getting rejected, and they want freedom. Now, I don't know about you, but I have 0 freedom. How about you?
I don't have a lot of freedom.
I'm accountable every minute of every day of every weekend. I'm accountable to where I'm supposed to be, who I'm supposed to be with, what I'm supposed to be doing. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with it. I don't necessarily like it all the time.
Well, I think that, do you like brushing your teeth?
I do.
Okay. I don't
No,
like brushing my teeth, but
you
I do it
don't?
3 times. I do it 3 times a day. Why?
You're told.
I love the result.
Ah,
So I love process and structure. Why?
because you get the result.
Work really hard on my spirituality with Jesus. I'm in a Bible study every Wednesday. I read the Bible every day with my team. I go to church twice a month. I go on a date every week with my wife. We hang out every night from 7 to 10, no phone. Why?
You keep it about the relationship.
Every Sunday, there's no phone zone. It's just me and her on Sundays, no work on Sunday. We kind of take it like light cooking, don't go anywhere. You know, I live on a farm, so we farm all weekend. And the only thing we do on Sunday, Chris, is feed the animals. We do no farm work. We do that on Saturday. So Sunday, we just feed animals and spend the day together. I try to put her on a pedestal. I say yes, dear, more than anybody I've ever known in my life. Physically, I'm in the gym hard 2 or 3 times a week, 1,000 reps every time I go to the gym. I save 20% of my paycheck every month for 37 years. So I believe like great discipline is the key. Do you agree with that?
I do.
You know, it's funny. I read John Maxwell every day. I read this John Maxwell Leadership Promises every day. And today was about the will to do what's right. And it's about discipline is doing what you really don't want to do so that you can do what you really want to do. Kind of a great lesson today about discipline, wasn't it?
Amazing lesson about discipline.
And so, you know, I had a call with him last week for my birthday. Somebody bought me a half-hour private call with John Maxwell.
Yeah. What was your takeaway?
Well, we talked about, is your life one of success or one of significance? And he said it can't be both. Okay. And let me tell you, I don't like, here's what I will tell you. He said, if you're chasing a number, your life is of success and not of significance. I says, well, do you have a lot of clients? He says, I have 20,000. I said, do you make a lot of money? He says, we make a ton of money. I said, do you do a lot of talks to get more clients? He says, yes. I said, then your life is of success and significance. So I think my life is both. I chase numbers for success and I work hard to make a big difference in people's lives. Does that make sense?
It
So
does.
I think you can be both. That was the lesson I got from him, but he tried to spin it a different way. But you all know, like I do, that we believe our own baloney. What do we all do?
Yes, we believe our own
Well, I
baloney.
believe that was his baloney, that you can't be both. But he was a pastor for 25 years. That was purely a life of what? Significance. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Now he's got 20,000 clients. That's a life of what?
Success.
Cool. And he does 200 talks a year.
Oh,
Why does he have more clients than me?
more talks.
I'm not interested. I am not interested in going around the country and, you know, getting up there and ranting and raving people and screaming and doing my thing. I'll do about, I'll probably do 15 shows a year. What will you do?
Yeah, a little bit more.
What am I always yelling at you about?
Less shows.
Less shows, more home. Why? What's the road life? Healthy or unhealthy?
Unhealthy.
Bad food, bad beds, bad environment. So I think that coaching for me, and I will tell you this, a lot of people use the term coach and they're not a coach. I look at your P&L, I look at your personal budget, I look at your lead tracker, I look at your payload. So if you're not like having your data looked at, is it really coaching or is it like talking?
Talking.
It's talking, but they use the term coaching. Like all companies say, oh, we have internal coaching. Well, first of all, if you don't pay, it's not coaching. If there's not data to review, it's not coaching. If there's not mandatory homework that's checked, it's not coaching. So for me, I look at everybody's greatness tracker, which we is our tracker for how many people you saw face to face, how many conversations you had, how many thank you cards you had. I track all that and I look at that. So that's what I think coaching is. But I'll tell you, it was an honor to talk to John Maxwell. He's 78 years old. He truly loves what he's doing. He's written 94 books. Pretty great life. Do you agree?
Yeah, great life.
Because somebody bought me that. Like one of my clients bought me that for my birthday. It was pretty what?
Spectacular.
That was pretty spectacular. Now, I don't know that anybody would ever buy me as a birthday present, but it was pretty cool that John Maxwell got bought as a birthday present. But that's on my dream list that someone will pay to talk to me for, as a birthday gift. So we'll see if it ever happens.
Rick, go back to, you're going to do a big podcast coming up. How do my clients be able to join that podcast? Do I have to be a member, part of your coaching group, or can I join?
No. I will tell you this. I do a podcast that you can get to on all formats. I have a subscription that I just came out with a month ago that we already have picked up 1,000 people on, where for $99 a month, it has everything I do. That includes my podcast, but it also includes breakout sessions from all my events. It also includes taped coaching sessions with coaching students. It has direct loan rep trainings, realtor trainings. So you can be in my subscription and you can get realtors trainings from my realtors, and all 11 of my realtor coaches net over $1 million. So I have some of the best realtors in the country. My top realtor last year did 220 million. And I have 3 loan reps that did 200 million that I coach. So I coach, just so you know, some of the biggest and brightest. And in the Scotsman's top 100, I have 14 of the top 40 loan reps are in the Scotsman's Guide. So I have a lot of really big people. I have a lot of people that, like you, that started as a good career and then have, like, you've gone up 20x since you've hired me. So you've had a great run from loan rep, producing branch manager regional, wholesale, giant wholesale. You've had a great growth. Now, is everybody going to blow up like you? No. Now, just so you know, there are some people that will break records like no one ever heard of. Like, I've broken a lot of records. You've broken a lot of records. Here's the key. The farther you go depends on how much you're overcoming. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So I think that I can take anybody to $1 million. Takes me between 2 and 10 years. It's a long time. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Absolutely.
Just so you know, I went back and looked, and you broke $1 million the first time, 2 years in from hiring me the first time. And then you've been over it for years and years and years. And I just finished, just so you know, 2025, I'm already over it in February. That makes 29 years in a row that I've been over $1 million in the mortgage business. One of my best accomplishments. Now, do you know that I've helped 767 people make $1 million?
That's even better.
And even better than that, my organization in the last 10 years has given away $263 million to charities. So 350 people giving away $263 million. Is that crazy?
That is amazing.
Because I focus on helping my clients make more, save more, give more. And I think that if you're hiring a coach, you got to hire a coach that is offering what you want. Like the clients that hire me, Chris, capitalism is the most important thing. You agree?
Yeah.
Now, there have been a lot of people through the years make fun of me because I demand that they make a lot of phone calls, correct?
Yeah.
Does it work?
Yeah.
You make phone calls, you get meetings, you go on meetings, you have follow-up, you get leads, you get deals, you hire staff. I mean, is that not just the flow of how it works?
It's the flow. It works.
And, I've seen a lot of people copy me through the years, and I'm flattered because it's always a good sign of flattery when somebody copies what you're doing. But to me, just hire the original, real deal McCoy. I think that's what they should do, don't you?
I do. And, you're not as scary as they say.
Oh, I'm scarier than they say. You just have learned to let me be the boss. What have you learned?
It took me a while.
And occasionally we have to go back and what?
Hammer.
Occasionally I have to thump you. Why?
I deserve it.
You make a ton of money. Why do I have to thump people that make a ton of money?
We don't listen very good.
Well, that's not true. You listen spectacular, but your bank account is so big and your income is so big that it says, hey, Chris, do whatever you want. I have the same problem. Today, I will meet with my mentor for 2 hours and he will thump me for 2 hours. What will he do?
He will thump you for 2 hours.
And I will be very grateful at the end. Why?
Because it'll put you at the right spot.
It'll put me in the right mindset to be a good student. It'll put me in the mind. Now, listen, can you be a leader if you're not a follower?
No.
Everybody wants to be a better leader. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And what's the one thing they really need to do?
Be a follower.
Cool. And guess what they don't want to be?
Follower.
Just so you know, Jesus was the greatest follower of our Father. The 3 disciples were the greatest followers of him. The 12 were great followers of them. I'm just telling you that you can't be a great leader till you're a great follower. So today I will get thumped for 2 hours. We will talk about how I'm not being a great husband, how I'm not being a great Christian, how I'm not being a great leader, what I can do to be a better boss, what I can do to be a better employer, what I can do to be a better coach. We'll spend 2 hours. Now, you know, I always look forward to it and I'm always grateful after.
I was going to ask you that.
And I have a lot of clients that don't look forward to me thumping them, but after they always enjoy it. You agree? But I'm telling you, I think that you're one of the best mortgage influencers in the industry. You know, I would never tell you something I don't believe in. I think being your coach for the last, what's it been, 13 years, 14 years? How long I've been coaching you?
Yeah, probably 11, I think.
So I've been coaching you a long time, and you're always in the top 5 of my program for net income. You're a great student. But more importantly, just watching you blossom as a husband and a leader and a dad and a mentor in the mortgage business. Just amazing watching you grow and seeing what you've turned into. And I think that people that are coached properly with the right mindset and the right coach, like I think if you don't have the right coach, what happens?
No, you don't get the benefit.
Yes. So I think that, you know, in the Bible, it says, seek good counsel. Yeah. I will tell you this. I work for the #1 retail mortgage guy in America. He pays me to consult to him. Why?
Because you get the results.
He believes I'm the right counsel. Now, I don't do any recruiting, but I fix a lot of problems. I give him advice. I give him counsel. I've got about 10 owners in the mortgage business that I consult to. They all think I'm the right counsel. I've got 340 clients that pay me 40 grand. I've got 1,000 in my subscription paying me $99 a month. I got about 600 in my level 1 and level 2. So I have right around almost 2,000 clients right now that think I'm the right what?
You're the right counsel.
Cool. Now, are there lots of options for your followers?
Yes.
Is anybody better than nothing?
Yes.
Yes. Correct. Any coach is better than no coach, but the right coach will take you farther than the wrong coach. Does that make sense? 100%. So for me, I want clients that want to have realtor relationships with realtors between 4 and 30 million. I want clients that work their past clients really hard, call them twice a year, check on them, tell them what their value is. I want people that work 40 local people. I want people that staff accordingly. Why do you have to staff accordingly?
Well, you can give a client a better experience. You can scale, and it's how you grow.
I had a past client call me today with a servicing problem. Did I pass it off or did I take care of it?
You helped with it.
Cool. I called the servicing manager who I know. We worked on the problem. We got his payment corrected. He said he was online for 3 hours trying to get through to the servicer.
Yeah.
Now, will that guy refer me more business?
For sure.
Just so you know, he's a big realtor that does 50 million, who's sending me a little business. He said, Rick, I'm sending you all of my business. So I think that you have to be in the mud and be willing to do the ugly work. And rich people will not what?
Do the work. Get in the mud.
Wealthy people will what?
Get in the mud.
What's the difference?
Well, I've worked really hard to stay in a wealthy mindset, not a rich mindset. A rich mindset, really, you just have this mindset. You can do whatever you want. Because if I have this, I can do it. You don't think rules apply to you. You might step over people, and you're not grateful.
And not only, those are all exactly true. Entitled, not grateful, all those things. but you're actually not willing to get in the mud anymore. It's a big difference between a wealthy guy and a rich guy. So if I'm willing to call servicing, that's the wealthy mindset. If I'm like, hey, get online and do it yourself, that's a rich mindset. I'm telling you this, wealthy gets a lot of referrals, rich is admired. Do you agree?
I couldn't have said that better. Hey,
I look at like Elon Musk. He's becoming wealthy. He's trying to give back to the community, take care of the country. What were you going to say?
Well, as we're wrapping up here, running out of time, the thing is that people are going to have questions. People want to get connected to you and your group. How do they do it?
Well, my site is thecoretraining.com. You can get on my subscription for $99 a month. I have an event coming up May 14th, 15th, and 16th. You have to do 20 million to attend. It's $5,000 to attend, includes all meals, entertainment. There'll be 340 members there and 120 guests. I'm sold out every event. There'll be a waiting list to get in my high-end coaching because my results are 300 to $1 million in between 2 and 10 years. If you really want to make $1 million, is there any other place they can go?
No, there's no.
Now, there's several people that used to be my clients that are in the coaching business, correct?
Correct.
And internet for them is where? Top priority, late priority?
Higher priority.
Where is it for me?
Lower priority.
So I believe the internet is the pinky finger, and most people treat the internet as a high factor. So for me, I want to be relational with realtors, past clients, and VIPs. I want to staff accordingly. I want to have a high margin. I want to net 125. I want to make 40 points profit. If your clients want those things, they should run and hire me. Do you agree?
I do.
Now, you still pay me. Why?
Because you're the right counsel.
Cool. I'm the right counsel for you about your wealth and your balance. Now, at your level, we work as much on balance as we do wealth. Do you agree? So for most of my clients, it's mostly about wealth, a little bit about balance. But as they get really big, we work more and more about balance. But just so you know, you're never, ever, ever done chasing wealth. And you're never, ever done chasing balance. Do you agree? So listen, I got to go. I love being your coach. I love supporting Windsor. I think all of you out there, all your business or most of your business, you go to Windsor because Chris has been a loan rep for a long time and he can take great care of you.
Yeah. Hey, and I always want to say thank you, Rick. You've been a great mentor in my life. You've made a huge difference. But more importantly, you've changed so many of my customers' lives. Like if you're wanting to figure out the roadmap to $1 million, there is no one better than Rick Ruby, his group, his coaches. He's the best and he has the best path and he's done it over and over and over. So listen, reach out to him, get signed up. That May event I look forward to it twice a year. We go to that event. It's the best. It's the best speakers. It's the best coaches. It's the best advice. I come home and my staff's freaked out because of all the things that I want to come back. So
many changes you have to make after you go to an event. You agree?
Yeah. It's an event you go and you get changed. So thank you, Rick.
See you, Chris. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.